Hey guys, Colin here with 3DR. In this video, we're going to walk through the installation of the Solo gimbal. Now before you get started, make sure that your Solo and your GoPro are fully up to date with the most recent software. We've got a flight school video called Software Update that'll help walk you through updating the Solo software, and then you can go to GoPro.com or use GoPro's mobile app to update the software for your GoPro. Now it's important to update the software for your GoPro so that we can remote control the GoPro to start and stop videos and take photos and things like that. So let's get started. So inside the box, you'll see you have the gimbal, a lens hood for the GoPro, a screwdriver, and 4 balance weights. Also included is a handy setup guide that walks you through the process. So the first thing we have to do is get the fixed mount off the Solo. So as you'll see, your gimbal came with a screwdriver. We're going to use that to simply loosen these 3 screws. Now as you'll notice, the screws don't actually come out of the plate because they're captured in place for you. Now that I've got all 3 loose, I can simply lift up here and pop the plate out. It'll kind of be held in place by these 2 tabs here. So now that we have it popped out, I'm going to take my HDMI cable and run it out of this little opening and set our fixed mount off to the side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the gimbal. I'm going to remove the foam insert, which you should keep and use whenever you're traveling with Solo. What I like to do is turn the copter this direction so that the gimbal hole is away from me. And now the gimbal fits on just like that. You see these 2 little tabs go in the front. Now what you can do is just roll it forward like this, and you'll see you've got 2 ports now, an HDMI port and the gimbal control port. And then there's another little wire down inside your Solo that is the gimbal control cable. This powers the gimbal, controls it, and does the pointing, and all of the smart shots all comes through these wires here. So the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my HDMI cable is routed all the way around so that it doesn't touch the gimbal inside the body. And I'm going to take it and simply plug it in to the top here. Make sure it's nice and seated in there. Then I'm going to have this gimbal cable, and you'll see there's a little tab on it that lines up with the little hole there. That's going to clip into place. Now you just want to make sure that this hole here, which is where the pan motor sits inside of, is nice and clear, and you're not going to have any interaction with the cabling. So I just make sure that it's nice and pushed down there. The HDMI cable runs around, and then you're just going to kind of work it down into the place like this. Make sure that these 2 tabs are popped in, and then the gimbal seats down into place just like that. The last thing you need to do is grab your screwdriver and tighten these 3 screws. And you kind of just move the orientation of the gimbal a little bit for each screw so that you can get to it. And just get it nice and snug. And this last screw, you want to turn the gimbal all the way like this and go right in through that hole there, which will get you right to that last screw. And there you go. The gimbal is installed. Now, the last step is to put in your GoPro, which is pretty simple. There's actually an image right here in the front of the gimbal showing you how to hook it in place. Just going to drop it in like this. It clips right in. We're going to make sure that this clip is over the front of the GoPro so it's nice and snug. We're plugged into the Hero bus. And then finally, you just take the HDMI cable, plug it right into the HDMI port. This is going to get us our HD video feed, and you're installed. If you're shooting with the Hero 4 Black, the last thing you'll need to do is install the lens hood. This will keep the sun flicker out of your footage. And then if you're shooting with a Hero 4 Silver or a Hero 3 Plus, you've got these balance weights. The larger weights are for the Hero 3 Plus, and then the smaller weights are for the Hero 4 Silver. So if this were a Hero 3 Plus, for instance, we would take these larger weights and simply screw it down in place like this. And that same weight would go on the top and the bottom, and you'd be balanced for the Hero 3 Plus. The smaller weights, again, will balance you for the Hero 4 Silver. Since I have the Hero 4 Black, I don't need to worry about the balance weights. I'm nice and balanced out of the box. And that's it. Now you're ready to go out and capture some really smooth, stunningly cinematic footage with Solo and really put smart shots to work. Now remember, please fly safe and have fun.